imagine this scenario. Let's say you have a network device, let's say a firewall for instance, and you want to send this firewall logs to your SIEM, and you are not able to install any kind of agent to send these logs to your SIEM. What you gonna do? Hello everyone, my name is Mohammed and welcome to a new video. And in today's video we will talk about the ETL or extract, transform and load tool. One of the tools is Logstash. Logstash is part of the Elastic stack. So let's say we have our network device here and we want to send it to Elasticsearch. As I said, we cannot send it directly. Why? We cannot install our agent here. So this way we cannot do it. So to be able to do that, to send the logs that are collected by this network device, let's say a firewall, we need to have Logstash. So the Logstash have three parts. Is the input, is the place where we are getting or receiving our logs in the first time. We can have one input, or we can have multiple inputs, meaning we collect from one firewall device or two or three or whatever. The second part is the filter. So here in the filter, you can manipulate your data, you can modify, you can delete, you can change the type, you can do whatever you want to do with your data here in the filter part. And the last point, or the last part of the ETL tool or Logstash, is the output. Here you can configure one destination or multiple destinations. You can send your logs here to Elasticsearch, or if you have any other, let's say a queuing system here, or another Logstash pipeline, you can send the data here, and from here you send it again to Elasticsearch. All right, I hope it's clear now. For Logstash, so the first thing we need to do is the installation of Logstash. So we need first to download Logstash first, and after that we do the configuration. We have two ways to do the installation of Logstash. Even we download the package from this link. I will put all the links that you see now in the description of the video. So even you do the download of the binary or the package of Logstash, it's depend on the your OS. You can come here and choose. It will redirect you automatically to the latest version, or if you want to download or install another version, you can come here and you choose the version that you want. Otherwise, you can use the if you are in a Debian or a Red Hat, you can use the command to install directly the Logstash packages. So once you do the installation, of or the download of your package, you come here and you extract the Logstash package. Everything is ready now, and we will start with the stashing our first event. So you redirect to the binary of Logstash -e, and you put the input and the output of your pipeline. We give a few seconds for Logstash to run, and after that it will give us the permission to insert any message, or we can type whatever we want, and right after that Logstash will print what you insert as an output. Here we go. If you have any warning, or sorry, if you have any errors, it will show here, but for now everything is good. So you type your message and it will output what you insert with other details. So it will add automatically the version, the timestamp, the host name, and also the message or the message that you type here, the original message, and it will add or put the value here in the in this field. You can type another message it will show, so it's enough for now. So now let's do the same work, and but this time like by creating a pipeline or Logstash pipeline. Like instead of sending the parameters in the command line, instead of sending it here, we can do we can create an ingest pipeline or Logstash pipeline, and we put the configuration. So the config will be here, or let's open it like this. It says config, and I already create the pipeline. So we have the input section, we have the filter, and we have the output. So now let me delete this input for now. 1 second. Let me just copy the input from here. So here's the inputs. Yeah, 1 second. So it will be like this. I'll just copy this one. First config. So our input will be here. I will remove this one for now, but we will use it later. Here we go. Now let's run the command again, but in this time instead of using -e and put the parameters in the command line itself, here we use this flag, which is -f, and we call the Logstash pipeline. We run it. Will take a few seconds, and the result it will be the same as it's shown here, but the only difference is, as I said again, instead of passing the parameters in the command line itself, this time we call the ingest pipeline, and we will see the output. The configuration or the execution, it will take a few seconds to run Logstash. So let's just wait now. Yes, here we go. Here we go. It's the same result. So we have the input, and it will print it in the output. Now let's see another example. So now I have some files here that are ready. I have one log or few logs that we can log files that we can read it from the input of Logstash. So we go again to the configuration of the pipeline. First config. Let me remove this, and let me paste this one. So the input of Logstash. Let's go to the documentations. 1 second. So the input plugins. So we have here the input, we have the output, we have the filter. So if you want to read from a file, if you want to forward the logs to Logstash and read them from the input, and we have a lot of plugins, you can come here to this link, and you read about all the input, or the Logstash input supported by Logstash, and also all the different configurations and the parameters that you can do. So this is just an example how you use Logstash to read to read from one of the bits that you have. So the bit will forward the logs directly. Once your bits read the log, it will forward them directly to Logstash, and Logstash will read it in this specific port. It's the same, so you can come here and you see all the inputs that we have. The same with the output. Logstash supports multiple types of output, and one of the benefits also it's supporting multiple outputs in the same time. I mean, if you want to send the same logs, let's say now the network device logs that we want to send it to our SIEM, we want also to send it to somewhere else, let's say a queuing system or another place. We can do a multiple output configuration in the same time. So this is all the examples that we have here, and you can come here and see all the configuration required here and all the parameter that you need to do. For the filter is the same. I mentioned in the beginning that in the filter we can play with our data. We can remove, we can change the type, we can add more, like enrich our geolocation data. We can do a lot of things here in the filter, and this is what we can do with the filter. This is all the filter plugins that we can do. You can choose one, and you see what it supports inside, like all the definition and the configuration required, and all the parameters that you can play with in your plugin. In this example of GeoIP plugin or filter plugin. So once it's done, let's go back to our Logstash. So in this we will read from this file. I have a log file that contain a firewall log. So this will or this input will go to this path or to this log file, and we'll start from the beginning reading the log, and after that it will print it in the output. So let's save the configuration and let's run our Logstash again with the same Logstash pipeline here. Let's give it a few seconds, and it will read the log or the log file. There we go. So as usual, it will take time, and if there is any warning or any error, it will show in the output here. So let's see. So here we don't have any error. We have only one line. Let me show you. Yeah, this is our log file. We have only one line, or we have only one log in this file, and it read it normally. Let's change to another file. Let's say what we have here. Let's check what we have in DNS. All right, let's read the DNS. So we can come here and we kill the process, or we stop Logstash. We modify the input. We modify the input of our log to read the DNS log. So it will be first config file, and here it will be DNS. Let's save and run again the command line. Give a few seconds. Let's check what we have in this DNS log again. So Logstash will do, or our input, it will go line by line and read all the log. Let's say it will start from the first one, from the beginning, and it will read line by line. So we go here to Logstash. Let's wait a little bit here and see how Logstash will read all the DNS log and print it in the output. Yeah, as you can see here, it's done. Logstash read all the input and put it in or print it as an output. Here we go. So now the next question is, it's okay, now we are collecting our logs, but we can do a better job. Let's go to the example of of a firewall, this example. So it's good to have it now. We have our, or we can read our log. We can send it as it is now to Elasticsearch or to our destination. But the good thing we saw previously that we have a filter. I mean, here, instead of sending our log as it is, we can parse it. I mean, we can split this log, and instead of sending it in one field, which is here a message, we can split it in multiple fields. We have, for example, here we can separate it, like let's say here a timestamp. Here, for example, we remove this one, or we keep it. We can put type, for example. Here the source IP, here the destination IP, here the protocol, here the source port, here destination port, and so on and so forth. So we can do a better job, like to get a better result. We can split our log and make the log ready to use. Like if we split it here and parse it and make it ready, it will be easy to use it in the Elasticsearch. I mean, if you want to search, it will be easy to search on one field instead of searching on all the log. It will be easier for Elasticsearch to find the information, or if you want to build an aggregation based visualization or a dashboard, it will also be easy. If you want to build a detection, or if you want to build a detection, or it's gonna be easy. So the next step is parsing the logs, right? So in this example, I do prepare an example of a parser here. Let me clear. So it's in config tutorial. All right. So I keep the same input, and I keep also the same output, right? What I change here is the filter. So I use the grok filter. So let's search for where we are here. Let's search for grok. Here we go. So if you come here to grok filter, you will have all the details, and also they give an example here, as you can see how you write your grok parser, and how not only how it works. Another example here with the results. All right. So back to our parser. So I will extract the timestamp. I will extract the source IP, the destination IP. There we go. Let's see. So we have, as I said, source IP. We have also destination IP. We have network protocol. A second. Yeah, network protocol. We have a source port, destination port. We have event.action. So another point that I want to highlight here is the naming of our fields. So one of the things is, like, you can choose the name that you like. You can, instead of going with destination port, you can do d_port or dest port or whatever, as the example here. But in Elastic there is an open source tool. They call it, or we have an ECS. They call it Elastic Command Schema. It's a way, or it's a way how we define the name of our fields. Like, let's say, for instance, we have a network device from Cisco, and we have another device system, the network device coming from Fortinet. So both of them having, let's say, the same information, but with the different fields. The point here, or the problem here, if we have the same information with a different field name, mean we will duplicate the work. Like, instead of having one visualization or one aggregation, we will have two. Like, for the first one is for the Fortinet device, or the field name, and the second for the Cisco field name. So it's gonna be different. So here the solution is the Elastic Command Schema. It's just nomination, or a convention, how to give names to your fields. So here you can read about the ECS, or Elastic Command Schema, and here you have you have the fields. 1 second. Okay. All right, 1 second. So it's, yeah, it's the reference. So here you have all the all the fields that you want. So let's go and check, for example, source, yeah, source or destination or one of the fields. So here you have your field, right? And you have a description like this. Source is for what, source bytes. They give a quick definition for the field, and they give the type, and they give you an example, right? So in our case, in our log here, for example, port, it's gonna be instead of the port, it will be destination port, and as ports, like instead of source port, they put here as port, but in our case we will put s dot port. So, or source dot port. So source dot ip, let's see, yeah, source dot port is port of the source, and the type and the example, it's a number. So yeah, so now let's see how the output of this grok filter will be. Let's save, and let's run our Logstash pipeline, but this time with another parser here. In this case, it's tutorial. So let's give it a few seconds, and we'll see the output, how it will be. Another example that you, or another tool, once you start working on your grok parser, I know it's not gonna be an easy task, especially if it's the first time for you. So there is other tools, like you can go to online and you look for grok parsers online, or there is a tool in Kibana. If you go to dev tools, you will find the grok debugger, and you can go there and you put the input or the sample of the data, and the sample of the data, and the grok parser, and you can simulate your grok parser and see if it works or no. So it will be here. You come from here, you go to DevTools, and you have here grok debugger. Here you put a sample of data. In this case it will be this line, and here for the grok, you can use the grok that we are using here. 1 second. So it will be it's in down. Okay, 1 second. Download. Yeah, Logstash. 1 second. Logstash 8. It's in a config, and here tutorial. Yeah, so this is your grok parser. You can copy it and paste it here, and you run simulate, and it will show you, like, if you have a result or if you have the output, it will be here. Otherwise it will generate an error. All right, so let's get back to our result and see. So as you can see here, in the previous example is just putting all the field in or all the input in one field, which is message. But here in this case, after using the grok parser, so we have the rule name, we have the event action, we have the log.file.path, we have destination port, we have network transport protocol. Here we have and here this is the original event or the original log file, So here we have the source IP, we have the destination port and IP, and we have the timestamp, and we have the host name as well. So this is an example of how you can use your Logstash to not only read your logs but also make it ready to use. Like, you parse it, you modify it, you manipulate it, and you test it here locally in Logstash. Once it's ready, as I said, let's go 1 second to our once you make sure your parsing is correct, everything is ready to use, you can modify the output. So you can come here, let's go back to the output, and let's look for Elasticsearch. So we have Elasticsearch here. So we have here an example. So the output, it will be, you give the details required for Elasticsearch to be able to send your logs. So this is, 1 second, let me search. So you have, this is all the information. So if you are using a cloud, you put the cloud ID and the authentication. Or if you are using Elasticsearch locally, you put the IP address with the username and the password, and also the index name where the Elastic, or where the logs will be stored in the in Elasticsearch. I hope you enjoyed the video and learned something about it. Feel free to leave a message or a comment if you have any question, or if you have any issues in your environment. I'll try my best to help you, and we'll see you in next video.